Welcome to episode 151 of the Beach Travel Wine Podcast. Today we are taking you to Zaragoza, a city halfway between Madrid and Barcelona that most people fly straight past on the fast train, and honestly, that's their loss. We'll tell you why the Basilica del Pilar is worth the trip alone, a basilica so big it looks like a Brazilian flag from above, plus the story of 3 unexploded bombs from the Civil War still on display inside. We'll wander through El Tubo, the old town's tangle of tapas bars where a glass of wine costs less than $4, and we'll head up to the Aljaferia Palace, an 11th century Moorish fortress that somehow is also home to the region's parliament. We'll also take you through the Parque Grande, one of our favourite parks anywhere in Spain, with its cascading water staircase and gardens inspired by the Palace of Versailles. It's really nice. Stick around to the end to hear our thoughts on the food, the fashion, and why we reckon Zaragoza deserves a spot on your Spain itinerary. So head to the link in the podcast description on the player you're listening on now, and it will have a link to the blog post with all our photos and a map of everywhere we went, plus some links to some great tours that we recommend. So please enjoy episode 151. Today's podcast is all about Zaragoza. What a great city. It's halfway between Madrid and
Barcelona.
And how did we get here, Don?
Well, we caught the fast train, the Renfe fast train.
RV?
Yeah, the RV, 9:30, and an hour and 10 minutes later, travelling at approximately just under 300k an hour, we got to Zaragoza.
See? And we caught it from the Atocha station in Madrid, which is the main train station sort of right in the middle of the city.
We caught a cab from the Zaragoza station to our hotel. When we got out of the cab, there was a gentleman waiting at the door of the hotel, which is
NH Collection Grand Hotel de Zaragoza.
as soon as we got out of the cab, I was blown away. It was just beautiful. And the location is fabulous.
The location, though, isn't just by luck. When we're doing research for the holiday, it's one of the things I try and find is somewhere that's easy to walk to, either transport or to central Old Town. So we've arrived, we've dumped our luggage, and we head off for the afternoon because we're only here for 3 nights, so we want to make the most of it. So we figured we would go to check out the Basilica de Nuestra Señora del Pilar, which is the famous landmark here. You just walk down the street, which itself is beautiful, like our Calle de Alfonso I, with all those hanging pots with the red geraniums and big wide streets. They're grand, aren't they?
And don't forget the fountains.
Yeah, true. I do like a good fountain. That's Plaza de España. There's this great big fountain with flowers all over it as well. And you walk down the street, as I said, and you basically just come out, and there in the Plaza de Pilar is the Basilica, and it's a sight to behold, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Apparently, so the legend goes, is it was where St. James had a vision of Our Lady, Mary, and was told by Mary to build a church, and that's what he did. And then over the years, it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
How big is it?
Well, I knew you were going to ask me that. It's 130 metres long and 67 metres wide.
See, that's pretty big, isn't it?
It's huge.
It's not just normal roof of a basilica. This one is actually covered. It looks like a massive Brazilian flag, doesn't it? It's blue, yellow, and green. It's very bright.
The tiles.
They're tiles, that's right. And all the little copulets.
There's 11 copulas.
Yeah, copulas, yes.
And there's 4 major towers.
But the copulas just look absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and they're all domed. And look, to be honest, you can't believe how big it is and how just stunning it is.
Also, there's a bridge that you'll go over and you can look back on the basilica. That's the Puente de Piedra, the bridge, and you get about halfway across, and it's the Ebro River. So you're on this old Roman bridge, the Ebro River, which is beautiful, clean, flowing water, and then the basilica standing above all that, and that's another wow. For sure. And so you get the money shot, but then you come back at night to do the same thing because you think it's wow in the day, but nighttime, it's pretty special. The sky against the basilica at night was like navy blues. It's just stunning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that filled in a fair bit of time and came back to our beautiful, cozy, cool hotel and had a siesta because honestly, things still shut here in the afternoon, don't they?
Yeah.
There's no point going out early for dinner because some of the places don't open until 8 o'clock at night. We'd been told about an area called El Tubo, which is in the old town, which is basically street after street of little bars and restaurants, lots of little
narrow streets, and everybody sits outside. The culture here on eating and drinking, everybody does it, from grandpa, grandma, and even the little babies. They're all out, and it's just the way they do it. So you're looking at $4 for a nice cold beer. Your wine's actually cheaper. You're looking at under $4 Australian.
And it's
so cheap to go out.
We're drinking white wine. A lot of Spanish people drink red wine.
Yeah, Vino Blanco or Verdejo.
Verdejo, sí. Although I did try and order 2 of those the other day, and the guy was going to bring me a bottle of red wine, so I didn't quite get that right. So the first night, we had 2 tapas at Casa Busan, and there's no rhyme or reason to where we're going, only what they look like or where we're walking.
Well, what was open?
What was open, because we went a bit earlier that night. And we had, oh my gosh, I mean, we're not going to go through every tapas we had, but that really set us up to know we were going to enjoy it, because we had slow-cooked pork fillet, and on top of it was this gooey brie cheese on top of sourdough bread.
And that was €7.50, which really is actually quite expensive.
But it was huge.
We could have had that.
And that alone.
And that alone.
But no, we had to go for the pork ribs as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
And smoky barbecue sauce. We couldn't even eat that.
No, we ended up leaving half of that.
Yeah. So what we decided to do from then on, the next few nights, is just have one small tapa with one drink at a couple of different places and keep moving. So you're just walking through that area, El Tubo, off the Plaza de España, where the water fountain is. You're just wandering around there at night. And it's so authentic Spanish, right? The tapa bars and the little old streets, and there's no tourists.
No.
Hardly any other tourists around. And so you realise that this is the locals are out here.
Yeah, and it's Monday night, and it was packed.
Yeah. It is a university town, so there's a lot of young people around, and they've got a train that goes up and down the main road and goes over one of the bridges, and that links the main part of town to the university area, so it's pretty easy for the locals to get around. And the streets are so wide too, everyone's out walking, and they've got dedicated scooter lanes and bike lanes and areas to walk, which is just great for mobility around the city. Like, they've done a great job, haven't they? That. So that was day one, and we're in love with Zaragoza already. The food, the wine, the people, the architecture.
And there's no anxiety when you're walking around. You're not worried about...
It's as safe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just perfect.
Yeah, it's great. So day 2, we decided we were going to go to the Palacio de la Aljaferia, which is the palace.
Yeah, it's a fortified medieval castle.
And once again, Lyle and I walk. It was just under 2 kilometres. And if you go early enough in the morning, it's still quite cool, like 20 degrees and nice breeze. So it was actually a really lovely walk. And you see so much when you walk a city, don't you? Things that you probably miss if you've got a taxi. So we arrived there. We got our ticket. We went and bought our audio guide. So you walk in and you come across the Moorish architecture straight away.
It was built in the 11th century in the Taifa of Zaragoza. It's not that big compared to some of the places we've seen, but that's because it was built in the 11th century.
But they don't show you all of it either, because it's a working building. They're still using it for government offices, so they've got quite a lot cordoned off.
Yeah, it's currently houses the Cortes Parliament of the Autonomous Community of Aragon. So it's actually like Parliament House, but it's like local.
Big council building.
Yeah, big council building. Somehow we ended up in the actual parliament. The Moorish architecture, there's a lot of it that's been renovated because they've had to, because it was so old. But bits and pieces of it.
Like some of the ceilings, obviously original, because they're wooden, they're painted with coats of arms.
Yeah, and also it's the stars of the cosmos as actually the pattern on the roof.
Oh, in one of those rooms.
Yeah, in one of those rooms. And it's beautiful.
It's a real contrast, isn't it? Because they've got like all the tiles, beautiful old ceramic tiles, I guess they are, and the wooden ceilings that are painted and decorated to perfection. And then there's a conference table, like a modern one, sitting in the middle, which is, how many chairs would they have around it? 40? Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Where they obviously have council meetings still. Yeah, That was pretty nice. And, of course, it's got the obligatory Moorish garden where they have symmetry and the orange trees and the little water feature, which is pretty... I just love the symmetry of those gardens, and always makes you feel nice and cool with the water running down the middle. So I found out lots of history of that listening to the audio tour. I just sort of wander off and take photos. But if you love architecture and history, it was really worth visiting. And it's got a big moat all the way around the outside.
Like with all things built back in the day, they were built to show off how rich and powerful they were.
So we decided we would then walk back towards the city. We just were a bit brave and didn't even follow a map, and off we went. And we actually landed ourselves at the Central Mercado, which is indoors, air-conditioned and full of food outlets. People selling fresh fish, lots of seafood, lots of vegetables, lots of cheeses, lots of meat, stall after stall of the freshest looking produce you can imagine. And that's obviously where the locals go to buy their food for dinner, and if they're not out in the tapas bars with us. And we decided we'd walked enough in the heat and found a little bar there.
Taverna.
See. And it was obviously time for another cerveza. Well, not another, it was our first of the day.
So the lady behind the bar was very, very, very nice and helped me with my Spanish. The thing is there, I found is a lot of the bar staff, they actually want to practice their English. As much as Leanne and I want to practice our Spanish, they want to practice their English. So the beer was cold, it was great. And then we headed off. We wanted to have a look inside the basilica.
Yeah, we did. So we wandered off and found ourselves right at the basilica again. So into the basilica we go, and nice surprise, it's free. I have to say, my first impressions, like as I said earlier, the outside is like a big Brazilian happy flag. The inside is very serious, but stunningly serious. It's so big, and there's just a feeling inside about it. It was just, I can't really explain it. From the choir area to the main service, there was a service going on at the time. And then around the back of that main area, there's another area for a service where people are sitting, and big columns and big dome ceiling on that, which actually opens inside, like you can see through that dome into the other ceiling of the church.
Yeah, and that one of the domes was actually painted by Goya.
Oh, that's what everyone was looking at. That's pretty impressive, yeah.
Yes.
You have to go in it.
Yeah, around the edges of the building, there's all these confessionals, and there's people
doing confession, yeah.
Like as you're walking around, you're thinking, wow.
It's also a church where pilgrims come because
of what we spoke about before, because it was St. James, the first vision of supposedly of our Lady.
Virgin Mary.
Yeah.
But you told me something interesting about the church.
I did, that it was bombed. It was hit by 3 bombs in the Civil War, but none of the bombs exploded.
So 3 bombs and none exploded.
None of the bombs
exploded. And they're on display there, or 2 of them?
2 of them are. Yeah, so that's ironical. Cool. But look, it's definitely worth going to see.
Yeah,
the paintings and the gold and the altars and the statues.
The timber work. Oh, those cupboards.
Yeah.
Giant timber, well, they look like cupboards, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they were just, the timber work on those was like someone's made them today, because they're just so precise.
Yeah, they look like huge wardrobes.
And one of the things I really liked about it is everyone was quiet in there. It was very respectful. Sometimes you go to these places and it's just so full of tourists and everybody's talking and pushing each other away for photos. This time it was just all about the atmosphere.
But again, I think because Zaragoza is not really a tourist mecca, most of the people in there are Spanish.
Which is crazy, because it's halfway between Madrid and Barcelona. If you're coming to Spain, come to Zaragoza. Just put it on your list. Just do it. It's so worth it. So that was a pretty big day out for us, wasn't it? And of course, once again, we had the siesta and we went out for tapas. And our last day, day 3, I have to say it's probably my favourite day.
I agree.
So we decided once again, it's only a kilometre and a bit. We were going to walk, and what a walk up the Gran Via. So the main road from where we are up to the park that we're going to has a walkway all the way down the middle.
On both sides are these beautiful trees.
Yeah, big shady trees which are arching over. So even if it is 30 degrees, it's cool. There's dedicated tracks on both sides for scooters and bikes, and then the tram, and then cars.
And buses.
And buses, sure. So you can just wander up there, and we just enjoyed that walk itself. We actually stopped and had a coffee, and it's the best coffee we had in Zaragoza. So we kept walking, not much further, and we came to a bridge dedicated to songwriters. It's just a little bridge, but it's pretty impressive. You walk over that to arrive at the beginning of the park that I wanted to see. And this is called the Parque Grande José Antonio La Bodeta. It hasn't always been called that. It was named that in 2010 after a singer-songwriter of that name, Jose Antonio Labordeta, who was also a politician. And he died in 2010, so they renamed the park.
And the name of the bridge is the Puente de los Cantores, which is the bridge of the songwriter.
Yeah, thank you, Don. When this park was started over 100 years ago, there was only 160,000 people in Zaragoza, and it was on the outskirts. Now there's closer to 700,000 people, and it's almost right in the middle of Zaragoza. But the people here just call it the Parque Grande.
Yeah, so it was designed and built between 1913 and 1927 and was officially opened in 1929.
And the design inspired by
Versailles.
Yeah, it's inspired by the Versailles Gardens in Paris. Yeah. So there we are at San Sebastian, Paseo de San Sebastian. There's these two grand paths that go up either side of these gardens, and it's all the topiary hedges in the middle, surrounded by thousands of roses, all of the same colour. And we just missed their best blooming by about a week, but they were still beautiful, right? And then on the outside of that was massive magnolia trees, all still in bloom, hundreds of those. So you're just standing there looking at those. But the thing that stands out most are the water features. There's
the fountains.
I love a good water feature, don't I?
You do.
And this is some of the best I've seen. And as you look down the Paseo de San Sebastian, you can see stairs going up this hill in the distance. And on the top of the hill, you can see more water features and a huge statue right up the top. And of course, I turn to Lyle and say, we're going up there, which obviously that's what you want to do. And so we're wandering down these paths, looking at the flowers, the water features, just enjoying it. The water's sort of spraying on you a bit because it's already 30 degrees, so that's really nice. And we're stopping to take photos and videos, and we get to the bottom of the stairs, and there's a great big round water feature with another fountain in that, which is stunning. And the staircase going up in itself is artwork. It goes up in a zigzag pattern, one on each side, and I don't know, 4 or 5 meters wide, more each one, with the old balustrades that are all, if they're not ceramic, they're marble, and they're decorative as well. And then you start going up the stairs, and the stairs are like maybe 1.5 feet wide.
Half a metre wide, and they're only probably,
5 centimetres?
Max.
Yeah.
High. So the actual walk up is really quite easy.
Beautiful though.
Yeah.
You feel like a queen would have walked up these steps.
And then in the middle of the staircase, there's stairs leading as part of the water feature, and there's just water gushing down these stairs.
The cascading water coming down the stairs in the middle. And there's a couple of stops on the way, lookout areas, where, of course, you stop and you take photos and you just are amazed at the view back down. And then you get all the way up the top, and I've got to say, it's one of the nicest views I've ever seen. I adored it. And there's oleanders, hot pink ones and light pink ones that are in full flower, which is adding to the white marble staircase and the gardens and the water features down the bottom. And we've got some beautiful photos on Instagram, Beach Travel Wine. Make sure you have a look there. Then we do a bit of a rocky dance because we made it to the top of the stairs. And then you're there at the statue, which once again has got water features, fountains everywhere. And you look up to this massive big statue of
El Balator, a monument of King Alfonso I of Aragon, which was unveiled in 1925 to commemorate 800 years since Reconquista of the city. And the statue's huge.
Yeah. The water going everywhere, and then you look down over that whole vista. Now, this is only one section of the garden. It's 44 hectares. There's rose gardens, there's other statues with water features that you wander around the paths. Even the benches, the little park benches, they've painted them all.
Brightly coloured.
Yeah, they're all got different paintings and artwork on them, which looks stunning. There's older ladies and gentlemen doing drawing classes, and then there's a pine forest area, and there was a meditation class going on in there. Apparently on the weekends and summer, there's a little train that went round for the kids. There's kids' play areas.
Well, I said to Leanne that it's like they've thought of everything.
Yeah. So we would recommend definitely go to this park.
It was about midday, so we were getting dehydrated.
Oh, we've remembered that we liked the Radler beer here. And Radler basically means cerveza con limon. So like it's a bit of lemon squash in it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we stopped and had one of those.
Yeah, 2 parts cerveza and one part lemon.
Lemon squash, so a bit like a shandy, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was really nice. So we came back once again, siesta, and we headed out for our last night of tapas in El Tubo. And I just wanted to mention that because one of our friends from Australia, who's a Spanish guy, gave us a heads up on a few places to go to, which was Casa Lac, plus others. But I just wanted to mention that because the food there was probably the best we had while we were here.
And probably the most expensive, the tapa that we've had. So I'll just give you a bit of an idea. We had a prawn ravioli, which was €4.75. We had venison, which was €4.50. And we had beef cheek to die for, was €5. So that's the most expensive tapa that we had. However, a vino, €2.50. So the whole dinner, 4 wines and dinner was €29, which is 43 Australian dollars, which would be sufficient for dinner.
Well, it was.
Yeah. So
Thank you for those recommendations. It's a really old city, but it's so modern, I guess, because of the university. The shops, we haven't even mentioned the shops, but the best shops I've seen. Like, I bought a dress. You bought 2 T-shirts. I go into shops in Australia and I walk around and don't like anything. I go in the shops here and I could buy just about everything. Everyone looks stunning, you're right.
That's from their shoes.
Oh, my God, the shoes. I haven't bought any new ones yet, but I might have to send some home. Yeah, that's right. No one wears hats, though.
Oh, no, but if they do have a hat on.
Yeah, they've got them in the shops, but we're the only 2 mugs walking around with hats on in 35 degrees yesterday. Wonderful. Yeah. The fashion, you're right. It's just old grandparents out for lunch and he's got his good suit on and she's got a hair set and she's got matching earrings and necklace and shoes. It's impressive. Yeah, I'm glad to remember to bring that up.
Well, you know, that one lady, she was on a walker.
Yeah.
And they'd have to be in their 80s.
Sure.
And as you said, the guy was in a suit.
Yeah.
His wife was on a walker and she was struggling. But look, spectacular.
Yeah, they really are very proud of their fashion and how they look. So if you can't tell, we absolutely love Zaragoza.
And highly, highly recommend if you're coming to Spain, put it on the list.
And if you're going to Madrid or Barcelona, you have no reason not to come here because it's an hour, 15 minutes on the fast train. But do at least 2 nights.
Yeah, at least 2. And if you can afford it, 3, as in afford the time.
Yeah, it's cheap here. Just because it gives you time to walk like we did and explore a bit more. You don't have to do everything on the one day. Go and check out our Instagram at Beach Travel Wine. Go to the story highlights because that's where you'll get all the videos of everywhere we've been. Adios. We'll see you on our next podcast.
Adios, amigos.